Hey guys, it's Elizabeth and you made it to Elizabeth Made This. I am going to pop in really quick here today and show you how to line a hood for a hoodie like this particular Lily cardigan from DG Patterns. But this will work with any knit cardigan that you may have, or any knit hoodie pattern that you got, any pattern that you've got that has a hood on it that you want to line that may not be lined. So I'm going to quick show you how to do that. And yeah, let's head on down to the sewing room and we'll do that. Hey guys, coming to you with a quick tutorial for how to line a hood. So right now I am dealing with the DG Patterns Lily cardigan, and this pattern does not have a lining on the hood. It's just meant to be left unlined, but I always like to line my hoods and make sure they have a nice good hem allowance, which also this pattern is meant to not have a hem allowance. At this point I'm testing, so she may change it in the final version. I'm not 100% sure on that, but anyway, I'm just going to show you how to do both of those things really quick, because I really like lining hoods because it adds an extra layer of warmth, and you can add like a nice contrast, like a knit like this on the inside of your hood. But the biggest thing is that when you open up, when you're wearing the hood, if you don't line your hood, this seam is going to be visible on the inside, and I don't like the feel of that on the back of my neck, and I also don't like the look of it so much. So I always like to line my hoods. So let's quick show you how you can line your hood. So you're going to grab your pattern piece, and I already sewn this hood, so this seam allowance, I know that it's going to go past where my line is, the end of my hood is right now, because this part of the end of this hood is seam allowance. So I'm just going to put that up there. And I just took a ruler and added 3/4 of an inch to the edge of this. That's going to give me a nice hem allowance that I'm going to press back. And you can just press that, or you can add a little bit of fusible interfacing. So just a strip of fusible interfacing 3/4 of an inch wide or a 1/2 inch wide, just something along that fold. I use this So Easy knit stay tape. I love this particular stay tape for knits. It's just really nice, and she has other widths if you want to add like a wider width. Like this is the for hems. This is an 1.25 wide, so it's really nice for hems and stuff. But you could add that to the hood edge too, if you just wanted to make that, you know, 1.25 past the cut line for the hood. Okay, so you've got that, and you've pressed up the hem. So then you want to take your lining piece, and instead of cutting it 3/4 of an inch past the edge of the hood, you want to cut it just a 1/4 inch past that. And that is because we want the lining to sit on the inside of the hood, not to be flush with the edge. If I cut it the same width, then it would flip out to the outside, and that's just not a really good look. So we're just going to cut it a 1/4 inch past the edge of the pattern. So now we're going to sew the wrong sides of the hood edge to the wrong sides of the lining edge to the outside of the hood edge, and I'll come back and show you what happens then. Okay, so now I'm just going to sew right sides of the hood to the right side of the lining, just along that long seam for the hood. And I'm just using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And this is a great tip if you don't have a serger. You can just use the you can use just a regular zigzag stitch, and I just keep it really narrow at like a 0.5 width and like 2.5 or 3 in length, and that just depends on if it's a really thick knit. Like this French terry that I'm using as a lining is pretty thick, so it's actually probably one that I might use a 3 length on. What is that, millimeters? I think it's millimeters. I'm not using my serger today because it is threaded up for another project, and it's threaded up in a color that I don't usually use and I wouldn't use for this particular project. And I'm just going to keep going down this seam with my 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I can see that I probably should have put my other fabric on top because it's got a little bit different stretch than the French terry does, and also a lot more recovery. But that's okay. They will still work out just fine together. Okay, so now what I want to do is understitch the hood. So I'm going to flip this over, and I want to press this towards the lining, and then I'm going to stitch really close to my stitch line on the lining side, and that's going to keep it from anchored and keep it from flipping towards the outside. Even though it's turned over, it's not going anywhere. We just want it to be nice and firm and anchored. So actually, I'm not going to press this. I will press it afterwards. And now I'm going to switch to a 0.3 or a 3.0 length. You can just kind of hand press it as you're going along here. That's the only thing about 1/4 inch seam allowances that are a little bit tricky, because they're so narrow if you're trying to understitch. But I like working with 1/4 inch seam allowances with knits because I'm usually serging, but not today. The last thing that I want to do is just make a basting stitch right along all the way to the edge, so it's just going to be easier to sew into the actual garment. Okay, so I did one final step in that I took my cover stitch and I stitched on the wrong side of the hood so that it made this decorative stitch all the way along there. That's going to secure the hood totally down, so nothing's going to flip. The hood's not going to flip on itself. The lining's not going to flip because we understitched that. Anyway, but and also it adds a really nice kind of decorative touch to that. If you don't, this is totally an optional step. And if you want to do something like this but you don't have a cover stitch machine, what you can do is either use a zigzag stitch on your regular sewing machine, or you can use a twin needle, and do the same kind of effect. Just on the right side of the hood, and the twin needle is going to make two rows of stitches just like that. And then also, so I've basted the edge of my hood, and you can see there's a little bit of extra fabric from the hood. So I'm just going to trim that from the lining. That is not a big deal. That just has to do with how the fabrics wanted to turn on each other, and they have a little bit slightly different stretch, but it's still going to work fine. So if you have extra fabric left from your lining hood, just don't worry about it. Just do that. But that's it. Then we have a nice completed hood, and it is ready to be installed into the actual cardigan. If this was a helpful video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe below. Thanks for watching. Happy sewing!